Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. I promise I won't take up too much of your time. I just wanted to talk about something that was incredibly important.
Urgent! If you're not freaking out about net neutrality right now, you're not paying attention. Listen here, okay? I know what it's like to have bad internet, alright? Don't come to me being all like, oh, net neutrality, everything is gonna be bad. Oh! Listen, everyone knows we want net neutrality. What do you want me to say about it? It's been all over the internet. It's literally been blasted. How do you not know about this? Your favorite YouTuber has made a video about it. Everyone has talked about it. What do you want me to say about it?
What's cracking, guys? I have two very serious issues that I need to talk about today. The first one I'm just going to do because it is by far way more important, unfortunately, than my second one. So I'm just going to talk about it, and that's the fact that, yes, anime is most likely in danger. And it's not just anime, it's the entire internet that's in danger right now. And I'm sure if you're anywhere on the internet, you have heard about this by far right now. There's people have been asking me in the comments to talk about this issue, to bring it up. It's been everywhere on my Twitter. It's been everywhere in my comments. Now it's time to do it. And I didn't talk about it immediately, mostly because I wanted to make sure that I get everything in order, and just in case of more facts arise and other things that go on, I want to make sure that I understand everything that's going on.
Hey friends, it's Akadieris, and this video is just going to be addressing a lot of things that you guys have been seeing over the internet, the wonderful two words, net neutrality.
Everyone that's watching this video right now is affected by what's about to happen to the internet. And you probably know about it already, but earlier today, the FCC chairman announced a plan to repeal and draw back a lot of net neutrality laws and kind of change the way that we access the internet. And that sounds bad because it is bad. And I'll provide links in the description not only to information, other people talking about it, and ways for you to fight back on this, but also I just wanted to mention why it was so important. Because if some of you don't know, like, net neutrality is simply a way of saying that the internet is open and accessible to everybody. You're able to go wherever you want on the internet. You're able to do whatever you want on the internet. You're able to have some semblance of anonymity on the internet without all the companies trying to track your every movement. And it's not perfect, but those are because of the net neutrality laws that we have right now.
First of all, in case you for some reason don't know what net neutrality is, let's look it up. Net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers and governments regulating the internet must treat all data on the internet the same and not discriminate or charge differentially by user, content, website, platform, application, type of attachment. Okay, I don't care. I immediately don't care.
So just to get you guys up to speed, for those of you that may not know or understand why this is so important, let me put it down for you. Net neutrality is the basic principle of the internet that makes it a beautiful place where you guys can go stream, search, or communicate freely without any third party telling you that one site should be charged any more than the next. So you can go on any website that you want without anybody telling you what to do. But this guy from the FCC wants to control all of that. He wants to make the internet a better and faster place for you guys so that you guys can go on different websites for a different price. So if you guys want to go to, let's say, YouTube and see June cutting amazing things with his knife skills, you can't do that without having a really great price of an additional $35. That's obviously an example, but given the way things are moving, I'm honestly worried that that could easily happen. Now, I encourage you guys to do your own research, and there's links in the description below where you guys can go support or just research in general, because whether or not you're for this, I personally want to enjoy the internet in peace without having to see what website is a better deal.
Now imagine if these things were to come to pass, you go to YouTube one day and you find, instead of your videos, you find this page that says, "We're sorry, you haven't paid for the entertainment package of your internet plan. Please pay $5 more."
There's this thing called the Federal Communication Commission, or the FCC, that wishes to appeal some internet neutrality law that will allow internet service providers, or ISPs, to monetize differently and control, rather, the internet that they provide to you as to why they want to do this, it's pretty simple. Money. I mean, it's just good, more money that they just want to squeeze out of you. That's literally all this is. From reading everything about their facts, I'm just gonna straight up and say they want more money from you. And their basic design in order to squeeze more money out of you by getting rid of net neutrality is by creating fast and slow lanes on the internet for them to give you packages. You know, like, say, hey, you know, you just got the normal package, so, you know, your internet's, it's only good for, like, I don't know, going to certain websites, not really streaming or looking at videos on YouTube. Which, by the way, if you want to upgrade, well, that's $5 if you want to go to freaking YouTube. Oh, you want to go on Twitch? Well, that's another $5. Hey, you want to go on social media and talk to your family? Well, that's another $5. And that is opposed to what it is now, where you just pay for the internet, and that's it. You just get everything. Everything that your internet service provider provides. And they're saying, the FCC, they're like, no, they won't do this. You have our word that they will not do this, maybe. The fact that there's absolutely nothing stopping from businesses doing this is questioning enough. They're most likely going to do it. If there's nothing going to stop them from making more money, businesses want to make more money, period. That's how they work. And they also argue, well, you know, you could just switch your internet service provider to somebody else then if you disagree with their business practices. Well, if you guys haven't noticed, usually there's only maybe, say, 1 or 2, if you're lucky, internet service providers around you. And in my current place, there's only 1, alright? I can only get 1, and their line's already set up and strung throughout my entire house, and I can't choose anybody else, and it's most likely the same for you. Mostly because internet service providers have all agreed on designated areas of influence where they are. They're already all planned together, they're all schemed together to sit comfortably on their money payhouse that you fork over every single month. And the man in charge of all this, Mr. Ajit Pai, the most hated man on the internet currently right now, is not listening to anything that the entire internet is saying. Not listening to anybody saying like, hey, don't freaking touch your internet. He is dead set on getting rid of net neutrality for, I don't know, experimental purposes. This is a man that used to be a lawyer for Verizon, an internet service provider, so his motives are questionable at best here. He mostly likely wants to help his buddies out. So now that you know that the internet is in danger here, and this man will stop at absolutely nothing to get some more money lining his pockets.
What they want is to make the internet a more profitable place. And that sounds bad on its face, but that's also just the first step of it. Like entertainment, you may think like, that's okay, like that's totally fine. But if you allow something like that to happen, then you put in the framework for information to be controlled. And when you do that, you control what people see. And when you do that, you control what people think. And I'm not saying this is going to lead to a dystopian future where everyone's mind controlled and doesn't think for themselves, but it does ruin a lot of opportunities that people have to be able to do what they want to do on the internet. You start down the path where this amazing thing that connects every single human on the globe together and allows for the free spread of information wherever it wants to go. You lock down opportunities and ability for people to thrive, both for themselves and for our future generations. And I'm not even saying that you shouldn't have to pay for the internet. I mean, you still have to pay for water, but there's no just barely clean enough water and then the premium water for $5 more that is actually not going to kill you. But when you set up a system that allows corners to be cut and allows businesses to prioritize profit over people, that's when society starts to degrade, and that's when innovation becomes stifled because it's not profitable for everyone to make leaps and bounds. We as a species are not defined by profit. Like, we're just better than that. And I hope we're better than that. I want to be better than that.
We're going to be taking steps back more than we're going to go forward here, guys. The reason I'm worried that this could actually pass is because they've done this before in the past and that they've lost against 98%. So clearly they've done something or said something that convinced Congress to put this on their table conveniently close to Thanksgiving, may I add, so that it just so happens that nobody is around to hear our voices. Well, guess what? Your voices can be heard. Apologies for that motorcycle in the back. Now, there may be some of you guys out there that may not be so political. Alright, well then just take this for example. The internet is a wonderful place where we all fucking hate each other and we're at each other's throats. And at the end of the day, we're still one big happy family, oddly enough. And I would much rather have that existing than somebody telling me what website I can go on, regulating how much I have to pay for another one as opposed to the next, having to be on the slow end of this entire debate.
Come on! Oh, come on. Still loading? Still loading? Still loading. Have you ever been stuck on a really slow internet connection? One so slow that you just can't stream video, or you have to give up on using certain sites or apps because
Yes. How did you know this?
Well, imagine that certain sites were permanently confined to a slow lane like that.
Practically they are.
Others were allowed to operate at full speed.
Oh my god!
Unless
I already have this problem. You're trying to sell me an issue that I already have? No, thank you. Okay.
it would be like paying to board earlier for an airplane, but for just about anything that you do online.
I love paying express so I can get in earlier. It's great. I don't have to stand in line with all the weirdos.
The idea that internet service providers shouldn't be allowed to discriminate against or grant preferential treatment to particular sites.
Also, sorry, but Stripe, you can't wear Stripe on camera. Like, did no one tell you that?
Without net neutrality, broadband providers like Comcast, Charter, as well as mobile carriers like AT&T and Verizon could slow Netflix to a crawl in order to keep you paying for their television package.
Get that man out of my face.
Basically, a world without net neutrality might mean that you have to pay more to access the internet content you want. But it could also crush innovation, because without a level playing field, new apps and services won't be able to compete with entrenched companies.
Like, anyone gives a shit. Come on, let's get real here. People want net neutrality because they don't want the government to interfere with the internet. Not so fast. Kids from the past here made a big mistake here. My microphone stopped working. I'm sorry. It's late. But I feel like it's important because I don't want to spread misinformation on what's clearly already a very confusing topic. The FCC is a government agency, and the government wanting to repeal net neutrality, my immediate thought was, oh, okay, so the government wants to take more control over the internet, and that's why everyone is so outraged. When this is actually a rare case of the government saying, hey, we want less control here, and more into the ISPs. Net neutrality is the government sort of controlling and making sure that ISPs are held to a certain standard, that they can't block access to certain websites, and keeping the internet free and neutral. And I think that's very, very important. So I clearly got it wrong, and I wanted to apologize and set the record straight.
The head of FCC, also villain of the internet, Ajit Pai, has come forward to explain.
Hi, I'm Ajit Pai. I'm the chairman of the FCC. I really enjoy the public debate about the future of the internet.
No, you fucking don't. Shut the fuck up. You're already lying. Now, Ajit Pai has been on a media campaign to twist the public's idea of net neutrality, to sort of switch it around, and it's not going great for Ajit.
I always tell the truth.
Basing on any video with him in and the dislike bar. So basically, for those of you who don't know, back in 2015, this whole discussion had already happened. I don't know if you guys remember. Remember Coney 2012? Well, then it was net neutrality 2015, and here we are again, net neutrality 2017.
System is working. Yet, Mr. Chairman, you're proposing to undo the open internet order. What is the problem, Mr. Chairman, that you are trying to fix?
Yes, thank you. Finally, I want the answer of this.
Thank you for the question, Senator. I think one of the concerns that we have raised is that these regulations might be dampening infrastructure investment.
They might be, but there's no evidence of it.
Well, there has been evidence raised, and that's part of the reason why we are testing this proposition in the context of the notice of proposed rulemaking. Some that suggested the FCC should simply issue a declaratory ruling saying that the facts in the law are so, and that's the way it's going to be. But we wanted to test this proposition in an open and public process.
What are you saying? At this rate, I'm convinced that Ajit just wants to remove net neutrality so he can delete all the mean comments about him on the internet. He's been on Fox News where they try to twist repealing net neutrality as a left and right issue.
Including the mainstream media, maybe we should just call them what they are, the leftist media there. The Washington Post, anyway, writes this today, sir.
So they're basically trying to angle it like, oh, it's the left media, those stupid leftists. When really, according to polling, everyone is against net neutrality. It's not a political left and right sort of question.
So this isn't about whether you're left or right. It's about enjoying memes and cat videos in peace, for God's sake. Now, the FCC and the rest of these cable companies are going to try and cover it up as much as they can to make it so complex for you to understand and try and say that this is for you. This is for the best of humanity. They don't care. This is for financial gain. All they care about is financial gain. They only care about gaining control of the same companies that kicked them in the teeth in the first place. A lot of these companies are cable companies. So one of them, let's take Comcast, one of the most, if not the most, hated company in the United States, who constantly on Twitter for years has had to apologize for a shitty service. Why would I entrust a company that can't even take care of itself to also be part of regulating the internet? Over 22 million people have gotten rid of cable, and they are going to try and take control of the very thing that put them in the grave in the first place. And now they're also going to put things of saying, oh, you see all the hatred that's coming out from all of these social media people? We knew that was going to happen. They're just trying to strike fear into you. We're not trying to strike fear into anybody. You're giving us a reason to be fearful. Now I apologize for the people that are used to this channel that know that I normally don't talk about things like this, but this is important. Now, there's this video that exists that has the chairman doing an interview explaining his side of exactly how his plan is going to benefit everyone, and I can tell that he is struggling so hard to smile. He's trying to keep this as professional as possible.
What does it mean for the media industry, and what does it mean for consumers? How could the world look different with this new set of rules?
I think we'll see a lot more digital opportunity in smaller towns and lower income areas in urban cities. We'll see more of a chance of investment in infrastructure. We'll see more entrepreneurs who are able to compete using these ubiquitous networks.
You may be saying like, hey, Noble, how does this affect anime? Well, not only can they create fast and slow lanes, they can also completely control which websites are available to you and which are not. That's right, they can completely block internet access to certain sites. They can also view what you've been doing at any time and control what you've been doing and what you see. Which, I don't know, sounds a little bit scary to me, don't it? And you can bet your buns that a lot of people here have some problems with anime and the things that it shows people. Most likely why some people still hold negative stigma against anime. But you know, it's not just anime itself, it's also those legal gray areas that are also likely going to come in question. You know, all that anime that you enjoy from your pirating sites and other things like that, you know, like, I don't know, Kiss Anime or other things that are not Crunchyroll, Verve, Hulu, Netflix, you know, any of those other legal sites. Yeah, those ones are most likely going to get blocked. And well, to some, you know, that sounds like a good thing, you know, like, hey, you know, they're blocking these sites that are pretty much pirating anime and other things like that. That's good, right? That way it'll force people to actually have to pay for other anime and things like, well, actually, no, that's actually pretty bad. Because I know a lot of you can't afford the extravagant cost of all the anime that you consume. It's very expensive, and the fact that it's so easily accessible actually benefits the anime community. Because without it being easily accessible, people wouldn't be fans of it in the first place. They wouldn't be able to see it easily and go, hey, you know, this is actually pretty good. I want to get some more of it. Maybe I want to buy some goods now. Maybe I want to go to cons. Maybe I want to, like, subscribe to a nice service, get some other things going on. It's pretty much a nice entry point for people to get themselves into anime and become big consumers of it.
The people that are supporting this and the companies that are behind this, a lot of them are cable companies. So let's take Comcast. One of the companies that are behind this, by the way, they're going to try and make this so complex for you to understand and just push forward the message that this is beneficial for you. They don't care. They don't care of what's good for the internet. First off, the internet doesn't need to be fixed. It's perfect the way it is. There are some flaws, but generally, it's already free to use. You can't be free from freedom. It doesn't work that way. But they're going to try and make it seem that way, that you have been discriminated against or that you have been regulated this entire time, and they're going to try and make that better.
A lot of celebrities have been tweeting about the FCC. Cher tweeted, "Net neutrality means Trump can change the internet. It will include less Americans, not more." I don't know. I can't read this. This is so incoherent. But Pi replied to this saying, "Another concern I've heard is that the plan will harm rural and low-income Americans." Here, for example, has tweeted, that the internet will include less Americans, not more, if my proposal is adopted. But the opposite is true. The digital divide is all too real. Too many rural and low-income Americans are still unable to get high-speed internet. So basically, a big argument for to repeal net neutrality is so that more people, the government can build out for more people to get access to the internet. So really, he's just looking after all of us. Why can't the government do that without repealing net neutrality? I have no idea. Why is it, if that's what he wants, why does the FCC want mobile data to count as broadband internet? That idea, which is an idea that would further cut off poor and rural areas from decent internet. You kind of getting, you're saying one thing, but you're showing the other. The FCC also made a myth versus fact to sort of clear out what the facts are, saying that this is the end of the internet as we know it. They're saying, no, that's not true. Startups will not be able to compete with Title II regulations. They're saying, no, that's not true. Internet service providers will block you from visiting the website you want to visit. They're saying, no, that's not true. And basically, anything that people are saying about the about net neutrality, they're saying that's incorrect. Actually, that's not how it's going to work. But it doesn't say how or why or when. And really, I haven't seen any convincing argument for should we ruin something that is already clearly working fine. It's just, oh, more people will have access to the internet? Sure, buddy. Sure. Since I'm re-recording this bit, I might as well add that since you guys told me, the reason why Ajit thinks that this will bring out more infrastructure to rural areas is because there will be more competition with the government interfering less. This is all speculation, but I also think it's worth mentioning that Ajit used to work for one of the biggest internet service providers in USA, Verizon, and it sort of make you question, like, what's the motive here? Is he just helping out his buddies from his old company? It doesn't really make sense, and I'm sure the way net neutrality is presented by a lot of media campaigns and that it's so bad, I'm sure it's not as bad as people are saying. But I've also haven't seen any argument for why it's a good idea to repeal net neutrality. The whole thing is just absurd. No one believes Ajit Pai, and like I said, I'm convinced this is just his personal vendetta with the internet at this point. But as always, the memes is very tasty from this.
Playing all you want, it's never, ever, ever, ever gonna stop. Come on, how bad can it possibly be? How bad can I be? I'm just building the economy. How bad can I be? Just look at me petting this puppy. How bad can I be? A portion of proceeds goes to charity. How bad can I be? How bad could I possibly be? Let's see.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
So next time, just imagine it. On the next time you want to click on your anime waifu, this little face of Ajit Pai is gonna get up over here and say, you gotta pay me $5 in order to see your frickin' waifu. Just imagine that, alright? Or another spicy thing you can imagine, this entire thing is pretty much EA is gonna be controlling your internet. Do you want that? You most likely said no, alright? You don't want to open loot boxes in order to get a freaking faster internet. And most likely, they don't even have the fast internet package inside of those loot boxes, and so you're just wasting your money in the hopes of maybe getting it. Now, there's a link in the description that you can use to fight for net neutrality, and I urge you all to use it. There's many different ways you can go about it. And just to show that the anime community is very invested in this, one of the top providers for making calls and driving calls is the Anime News Network. Yes, our own Anime News Network site is helping promote internet neutrality here and helping keep the internet for us as a nice group unit, nice, equal, anybody can go anywhere at any time and not be questioned. As long as it's legal, alright? As long as it's still legal, that's the main thing, okay?
Yup, I'm talking about this. Net neutrality. We need to speak up. Just like everyone else says, if we don't speak up, bye-bye fandoms, bye-bye memes, bye-bye fan art, bye-bye fanfics. God damn it. Why net neutrality is important? Just imagine EA is your internet provider. Yeah, no. My internet is so good. Support net neutrality. The internet should be free. If you want to build out rural areas, I'm sure you can do it without fucking with the internet, okay? Just leave our memes alone. Thank you.
I want to make the internet a better and faster place for entrepreneurs and consumers. Again, he doesn't care. You know what he reminds me of? Loki from the Avengers. That one scene where he tells everybody to get on their knees and makes that one speech saying that humans secretly just want to be ruled by somebody else.
Is not this simpler? Is this not your natural state? It's the unspoken truth of humanity that you crave subjugation.
Not to mention, you're also backing up one of your articles on the Wall Street Journal. I don't know if you've kind of been behind of what's been going on the internet, but they sort of have a stigma right now. So they're going to start the voting on December 14th, and I highly encourage you guys to share your voices and do your research before that in the description below, where the link will go to battleforthenet.com. If you've made the side to try and protect net neutrality, then you can also text or call your representatives. If you guys are too nervous to call, there is a script that they have provided in that link, but you can also text this number. You just have to text the word resist, and it will give you the names of your representatives, and from there you can text your message and it will fax it to them. You don't have to go through that awkwardness of not knowing what to say on the spot. It's totally fine. I don't know about you guys, but I want to embrace memes and raging in peace on the internet while also venting my feelings on a philosophical level in the comment section of Pornhub. If you're on that side, again, links will be in the description below. If you've never had your voice heard before, now's the time to do so. This will be the one time I'm actually siding with both fans and people that fucking hate me. So I hope that we can continue this weird family that we have forever. By the way, if you guys are new to this channel, I normally don't do stuff like this. It's mainly anime and otaku related things, so go check the rest of the content out if it's something that you like. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Bottom line is, the internet should be open and accessible to everybody. There shouldn't be paywalls that control what you can see based on how much money you make. There shouldn't be walls in general that control the information that you see, and there shouldn't be people watching your every move on the internet. We can't allow this to happen, and thankfully there are ways to fight it. In the description, I've provided tons of links to not only information about this that can explain it better than I just did, but also ways that you can fight back, where you can contact people that are making these decisions. They're all down in the description. There's ways to contact your congressmen, your senators, your government officials. There's ways to write to the FCC. Like, even if they want to ignore, even if they want profit, you can still make a difference. These systems are only in place because we just decided it. The internet only exists because we decided to build it. So we have to take charge and remember that this is so important that we need to protect it. Because the internet's a beautiful thing because of how open and accessible it is. And I want to keep it that way. I want you guys to be able to enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. I want you guys to be able to do what you want to do on the internet without someone telling you that you can't. That's all I'll say for now. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you can, please take the time to try to make a difference. All the links are down in the description. There's tons of other people talking about it right now, and it's incredibly important. So thank you everybody so much for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!
And this next one is something that saddens me immensely, actually, and it makes me. It really sucks. It honestly really sucks, but it's nowhere near as important as the other one. But I will say it now, because now's the appropriate time. And that's YouTube has been, well, it's not being nice to me. to put it in a euphemism. You know about the whole adpocalypse situation, things like that. I won't go over that again. But the main thing here is that if a video gets deemed not advertiser friendly, then YouTube has now taken upon themselves to not promote those videos. And you guys knowing me and my track record here and my whole career, all these videos that I put up is I can say are not the most advertiser friendly, I guess in a sense. And because of that, YouTube has not been promoting my channel pretty much at all. Instead of promoting every channel equally, regardless of its monetary value, YouTube just wants to make more money. Which, you know, as a business makes sense. But you know, the thing that you came to YouTube for in the first place, you know, when I used to be good, when YouTube used to love me, you know, they used to promote me all the time. And I used to get tons of views and other things. And now that I'm considered not completely ad friendly, well, I've pretty much lost over half of the views that I usually get. And when a video gets immediately deemed not advertiser friendly when I upload something, that is where the true problem is coming in and really affecting me lately. And I know a lot of you guys always say that, no, I always watch every single video you upload. I love you. You're amazing. Every video brings a smile upon my face. And I completely believe you. I honestly and completely appreciate you and everything that you are. You're amazing. Thank you very much. But unfortunately, sometimes it's not even in your control. Unless you refresh like my homepage and other things like that. YouTube will not even sometimes send it to your subscriber feeds and other things like that if you don't even have the bell turned on. It will completely hide the video from you, at least at random from what I've seen. And the only way you'll ever see it is if you click on my video, like click on my channel and distinctly look for it. And the proof I have in this is the fact that when one of my recent videos got deemed not advertiser friendly, just a little bit after I uploaded it, the views on it dropped significantly, absolutely significantly, to just low levels that should not have been possible. But when YouTube reviewed it after me appealing it shortly after, suddenly the views magically came back in the middle of the night. And that's a little eyebrow raising, isn't it? That goes, wait a minute, what's going on there? I mean, it's one thing to not actually promote the video, I guess, across and recommend it to different people, but to not actually promote it to the people that have subscribed to my content, that basically have said, I want to see more of what this man is doing. That's insane. That's ridiculous. And so now I have to be extraordinarily careful with my language and what I do in my videos from now on, just to make sure that I do not trigger whatever this bot does. And by the way, this bot flags all my videos, unquestionably, no matter what it is, no matter how family friendly it is, no matter if I'm saying, oh, I'm just streaming like some friendly Final Fantasy game that's rated E for everyone, it'll still flag it. It'll still say this video is not advertiser friendly. And there's nothing I can do about it. I have to fight every single video without question. This is what it is. I have to fight every single video. And so what this means from now on, well, I can't do anything, and well, you can't do anything either. Even if you try, sometimes you'll dismiss it, you know? So the only thing I can do in order to ensure that this doesn't happen is to make sure that every time I upload, every time you see that, I'm gonna make sure that that icon is green and says, this is advertiser friendly. And which that means is sometimes I'm gonna have to sit on a video for days on end waiting for them to review it in order for me to actually publish it. And if they say this is not advertiser friendly, it means I'm gonna have to do the process all over again. YouTube is basically censoring my content, so to speak. I can't do some of the stuff like I used to do anymore, period. If I actually want to succeed on YouTube, I have to bend to the new rules. I absolutely have to now. This is just an update to tell you why sometimes, hey, maybe there's not gonna be a noble video today because Noble's trying his hardest in order to get a video that's YouTube approves of. That's pretty much it. And this is also a nice warning to all you other YouTubers out there that, hey, if your video is deemed not advertiser friendly, even if it is advertiser friendly, if it's immediately flagged, you probably should not upload it until they have approved of it. And that's that. Otherwise, your video might not even get to your subscribers, the people that want to see it. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, the whole net neutrality is way more important to me, by far. So, like, take care of that. And I just want to update you guys on that other situation. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope to see all the beautiful sentiments again next time.
They will clean up all your talking in a manner such as this. They will make you take a tinkle when you wanna take a piss.
And they'll make you call fellatio a trouser-friendly kiss. Here's the plain situation. There's no negotiation with the fellas at the freaking FCC.
They're as stuffy as the stuffiest of special interest groups. Make a joke about your bowels and they order in the troops.
Any baby with a brain could tell them everybody poops. Take a tip, take a lesson. You'll never win by messing with the fellas at the freaking FCC.
And if you find yourself with some young sexy thing, you're gonna have to do her with your ding-a-ling. 'Cause you can't say penis, so they sent this little warning. They're prepared to do their worst, and they stuck it in your mailbox hoping you could be coerced.
I can think of quite another place they should have stuck it first. They may just be neurotic or possibly psychotic. They're the fellas.